Hey folks, welcome back. I have a request from one of the subscribers on the channel to do for me to give a review on my experience and my rating of the top budget guitars that I've come across and used. So that's what I'm going to do. I think it'll be good content for discussion, for debate in a lot of cases. I'm sure you have your own opinion on what your experience has been with certain budget guitars. I can only go by mine. So I basically selected 10 guitar brands that have import guitar lines, and in my opinion they're the 10 best values for budget guitars for the beginner and the player that is just kicking around playing guitars. So in any event, I'm going to start off with my criteria for my decisions. So I came up with 5 categories. The first is quality, overall quality of the guitar, and what that is simply that, right? The wood used, the tuners that are on the guitar, the knobs and switches that are on the guitar in terms of stability and durability, the associated hardware in terms of bridges on the guitar, fretwork. So overall componentry of the instrument. The second thing is variety, and that's what styles does the manufacturer at that price level have for the consumer? Is it just a Strat or a Tele style guitar, or does it come with more options? So variety is the second. The third is setup out of the box. Okay, this is opening it up and playing it, and how is it possible to do that with the instrument? So frets, fret height, string height, sharpness to the frets, the fret ends, intonation, very, very poor quality strings. So basically, how does it come out of the box, and how is it set up from the manufacturer? The fourth category is sound, based on the stock components of the guitar, with the stock pickups, etc. And then the fifth category and final category is the overall playing experience. Does it have a nice neck, good feel to the neck? Is it fun to play? Is it one of the guitars, let's say that you have maybe several guitars, is it one of your go-to instruments? That type of thing. So it's the overall playing experience. So those are the 5 categories that I used. I assigned, from 1 to 5 ratings for each of these categories for the guitar brands. And then I came up with a weighted average and ranked them in order. So what I came up with, based on, again, on my experience and my personal opinion of the instruments, is the number one quality, overall value, I should say, budget guitar is Gretsch, the Gretsch Electromatic line. And Gretsch has several lines within their budget range, but I'm using the price range from 100 to 300-ish in terms of price, $350, okay, at the higher end. And the Gretsch Electromatic series falls in the 350-ish range. It's largely the Pro Jet line and the Jet Club line. Both of these guitars are excellent, excellent, excellent instruments in terms of overall quality. Their basswood is what they're made of. And some of them are chambered bodies, some of them are completely solid. But right out of the box, they're set up beautifully. They're finished impeccably. I've had 0 issues with setup problems, with drastic height adjustments for the strings, or having to file down the frets. At least that's my personal experience. I've had no issues with that. None of those issues with Gretsch guitars. They come with their own Gretsch pickups. Some of them have Gretsch branded. Some of them have Filtertron pickups. The stock pickups are fine. For the average player, your personal preference if you want to change them out, but I don't see any reason to. They're really, really good budget pickups. The tuners are decent to very, very good, in my opinion. They hold tune extremely well. The nuts are cut in all cases that I've had Gretsch's perfect. No problems with the nut at all. Overall quality, playing experience, sound, setup out of the box is top notch. So I got Gretsch Electromatic at the top. They're imported from China. Coming in a close tie with them, and I'm going to keep these two at the same tier, is Yamaha. And that's the Yamaha Pacifica line. And specifically the models 012 and 112, 112J, etc. These are the lower end of the Pacifica family. Great guitars, similar to Gretsch. Yamaha probably makes some of the best value budget instruments, in my opinion, that are available. Quality is top notch. Finishing is top notch. They do a really good job with quality control at the factories. The guitars are either made in Indonesia or China, depending upon the model. The 112s, I believe, are Indonesia. The 012s, I believe, are China. Stock pickups are ceramic pickups. They sound great. They're not overly bright. The fret ends are usually impeccable. I've never had any sharp fret end issues with my lower end Yamahas. The fret heights are fine. Fretboards are not dry like some imported guitars. So from a quality standpoint, depending upon the guitar, the 012s, I believe, are they're not alder. They're a lower end poplar or something like that. The 112Js are alder in terms of wood. Stock pickups are great. Again, even though they're ceramic, they sound well. Really good budget guitars. Yamaha is a very strong company, great customer support. So I keep Yamaha and Gretsch in the same category, top quality budget guitars. Excellent, can't go wrong. In second place, this is an interesting one because they're not on many people's radars. In fact, most people don't even know of the company. And I came across them by just, being very curious, quite honestly, is a company called CNG Guitars. And they are largely sold on Reverb. That's where I bought mine. That's the only place I've ever seen them. They are known for their all-in-one guitars. These are guitars that have a speaker attached to them and built-in drum sounds. So you can basically, get like an all-in-one band type sound out of your guitar through the speaker that's attached to your guitar. I didn't go with that. I went with the traditional, just, conventional guitar. And they have two models. They have one that's a Strat model and one that's a Tele model. I bought both of them. I have reviews on the channel for both. Great guitars. Quality top-notch. Fret ends out of the box, finished perfectly. The polyurethane coat on the Strat is gorgeous. I got a natural finish. It's wood grain through it. It seems like a one-piece body. I'm not sure if it is or not, but the finishing of the guitar is beautiful. The tuners on it are very stable. The fretboard is beautiful. I think it's a blackwood fretboard, but it looks like rosewood and very smooth. The neck radius, I believe, is a 14-inch. It's a flat neck, but a really nice feeling neck on the guitar. Just a wonderful instrument. Great playing. It's one of my go-to guitars. Great playing experience. So I've got C&G. Oh, and the other thing is it comes with Alnico pickups on the guitar. So they didn't skimp in terms of the components that they used, and it shows. The guitar is a great guitar. Really enjoy it. The Strat and the Tele. The Tele is not a gloss finish to the body. It's more of a flat finish, but it has the belly carve on the back, which is nice at the budget end. Again, Alnico pickups, and the same thing as the Strat. Just great feeling neck, great sounding guitar. Really enjoy playing both of those. Coming in at third is IYV, which again is another Asian import. This time the factory is out of Vietnam. They're a Korean company that manufactures out of Vietnam. Excellent quality instruments, again, at the budget level. They have a variety of types of guitars, so you can get not only Strat style and Tele style, like I just mentioned in C&G, but you can also get Mustang style guitars, PRS style guitars, Brian May, which I reviewed recently on my channel. They have a Brian May Red Special knockoff that's excellent, as a budget guitar. They just do a really good job of quality and control as well. The guitars come. I've never had an issue with sharp frets on any of my IYV guitars. I've never had an issue with setup problems. They're set up perfectly out of the box. I've never had problems with the fretboards, dry fretboards, or component issues. The instrument, the pickups on the guitars, I believe, are from a company called Destiny. They're typically Destiny CNC wound, is what it says on most of their pickups, and they're very, very good budget pickups. But they sound fine. In fact, better than most budget guitars. And the Brian May pickups, which are CNC Destiny DLX, they're tagged, are great budget pickups. They really, really sound good. They have a lot of tonal variances in them, and that's largely due to the switching schematics of the guitar, but they're really good pickups for a budget. So got IYV right there, and then coming in at fourth place is Epiphone. And Epiphone is a great company. Part of the Gibson family, been around for years. In fact, they were around before Gibson, actually. Make great guitars, a big variety of guitars. The guitars that I'm referring to and the ones that I've reviewed mostly are the lower end of the Epiphone line, which are the Epiphone Specials, the Les Paul Special, the SG Special. Great guitars, decent components, decent quality woods that are used in the guitars. Problem I have with them is the quality control, because I guess they make such a large volume of these guitars, is dicey. I've had some instances with some of the lower end Epiphones where I've had sharp fret ends. I've had to make string height adjustments, intonation adjustments, and again, these aren't monumental problems. But if you're a novice or you're someone that doesn't have any experience at all, touching and tuning up and adjusting guitars, it is a problem, especially for a youngster that's just learning how to play. A student. You don't want to spend time having the guitar set up and adjusted before you play. You kind of want to get an instrument that's as comfortable as possible out of the box without any additional investments, so that the student is comfortable playing it and doesn't get discouraged before he even starts. So that's the only issue I've really had with Epiphones. Great quality, great to play. They sound good. Once you get these little issues out of the way, they're probably phenomenal instruments, and them and Squier have probably the best resale values out of all of the instruments that I'm talking about. But you do have some issues with setup. And then, again, right below Epiphone, I'm putting Fender Squier in there, and it's largely the Bullet and Affinities that I'm talking about and referring to. Again, great company, been around forever, great variety of instruments, Strat style, Tele style, Mustang style, you name it, and they have a whole host of different types of colors. Great, decent sounding stock pickups on the guitars. They're ceramic at this price point, but they are decent pickups on the Bullets. Bigger problem I have is the tuners. The tuners on the guitars are trapezoid tuners. Very, very budget tuners, very low end, and do not hold tune very well. In fact, that's the biggest complaint of most people when you go on guitar forums with Squier Bullets, is having to replace the tuners immediately because they just don't hold tune. And also, I've had issues with fret ends, sharp fret ends on the Squiers. I've had a couple of guitars, actually, a couple of Bullets that have had really, really bad fret ends, and string height that needed to be adjusted. So, when you're a beginner and a student, and you don't want to make that investment, it's a bit of a chance that you're taking with a Bullet, more so than some of the other higher rated guitars that I mentioned. But other than that, they are really good guitars. They sound good. And you'll have a decent resale value on them, and you'll have many years of enjoyment in terms of playing them. Right below Fender, I've got a Squier. I've got Grote, and Grote is another one of those diamonds in a rough that come from Amazon. They're a Chinese-made guitar. Have a wide variety of different types of guitars that they sell. Right now on Amazon, I believe they have ES335 style guitars. They have some Les Paul style guitars. They have some Strat style guitars at the lower end, and made well. A big problem with Grote, and the problem also exists with IYV, is that they ship their guitars in a single box. And that's a big, big chance that they're taking, because coming from Asia to the United States in a single box is a real is a real task to get the guitar here in one piece without being damaged. I have bought a couple of Grotes that have had broken tuners. One had a broken neck. Actually broke right off the body of the guitar. They took care of me. They did the return, no issues, but it was a pain in the neck because I had to wait for them to replace the guitar. My most recent one that I bought, which was an ES335 style guitar, actually made it in one piece. When they do, they're really beautiful. I mean, because they are a decent quality. They have decent tuners, not great tuners on them. They are finished decently, and they sound quite good. The pickups on the Grotes are slightly microphonic on the ES335s, but not bad. And the overall playing experience after you, get the guitar set up to your liking, and in some cases the strings are a tad bit high, but lately the Grotes have been coming out of the factory pretty good. I haven't even had to make any intonation adjustments or string height adjustments. And they play decently. So Grotes are a good guitar. Just be careful. And like I said, because of that single box issue where you could get one that's touched up a bit. Below Grote, I have Sawtooth. They're another Asian manufacturer. Go Music, I believe, was one of the first companies that started distributing Sawtooth. They're on Amazon now quite frequently. They're even in Walmart. They sell budget end guitars and some higher priced guitars. But at the lower end, you can certainly get Tellys and Strats. And they're decent. They have a chunkier neck. That's the only thing I would say. The profile of the neck is typically a bit chunkier. And if you like that, in fact, a lot of Telly players are parting out the necks on these guitars because they want a little bit more of that fullness to the neck. You're going to get it with the Sawtooth. But they typically, I've had quality control issues with them. A lot of sharp fret ends. A lot of guitars that have had, really high string heights that needed to be adjusted, intonation issues. So if you're not handy, that could be a bit of a challenge, or you may need to bring it for a setup. So for a student or somebody that's, a beginner that doesn't want to get involved with having to pay an additional fee to get them set up, you may want to just think a little bit about that, because that might be, needed depending upon how lucky you are when you buy the guitar. The next brand that's after Sawtooth is a company called Monoprice. And Monoprice became famous for cables, or known for cables. They also have branched out into other audio type amplifiers, audio, acoustic guitars, electric guitars. Their electric guitar line is Indio, I-N-D-I-O. It's actually a pretty decent guitar for the amount of money you're paying, in the low 100s. Comes with a gig bag. Typically, setup is a bit of a question mark. I've had them not set up that well. I've had some with some sharp fret ends, although not that bad, really. And the pickups, the stock pickups on them are actually quite decent. They're ceramic pickups, but they don't sound bad. Biggest problem I've had, really, are the fret ends, and some of them have had some, finish flaws on them and finishing issues. But other than that, Monoprice are decent guitars, good customer support. Again, comes with a gig bag, which is a nice touch. And I have them coming in around 8th. And then at 9th, I have Firefly. And I think I'm going to have a lot of haters after I've put this rating in, because I know they're beloved by a lot of people on Amazon. In fact, their guitars really, really sell out quickly. It was really almost impossible a couple of months ago to get your hands on their ES335 style guitars on Amazon. But lately they've restocked them, and they have a couple on them right now that are available. Decent guitars. My major issues with Firefly are the tuners I've had issues with. They don't hold tune extremely well. Finishing problems with the guitar, little imperfections on the guitar. More so than the usual budget guitars, and the pickups being microphonic, noticeably microphonic, at least on the ES335 style guitars that I've had. But other than that, I mean, they are a good quality. They look nice. They come in nice colors and variety. The company, I understand, is great to deal with. So they're a good company, but again, just beware of the tuners being a bit of an issue, and the pickups not being, stellar pickups. But other than that, they're good guitars. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's my 2 cents on my experience with budget guitars. Any one of these brands are going to be good for you, I'm sure, and last you, at least until your next level of playing. And in some cases may last you for whatever you need them for, as backup guitars, as traveling guitars, mod guitar platforms, you name it. But they're all good guitars. They come with they come from companies, I should say, that you can actually pick up a phone and get in touch with, or email, and they'll respond back to you. So there's decent support behind them, and they all sound decent as well, and are all fairly good quality instruments for what you're paying. Great values. So if you differ, or you disagree, or you have other experiences with some brands that I missed, which Lord knows there's probably many of them, please let me know in the comments. That's what this is all about. And if you have any questions on any of these guitars, a good portion of them are reviewed on my website. Others that aren't reviewed, I've had experiences with, but probably no longer have the instruments, but still would be more than happy to answer your questions below in the questions. So, guys, thanks again. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And until the next time, be well and stay safe. And thank you.